once again to the Ben Smith Coaches Show here on the BCHS Network. I'm your host, Gary Ownbey. We're going to talk about Bradley Central High School wrestling to start with the introduction of our special guests, and you've got two very special guests here today.
I sure do. Yeah, I have our two highest placing from their respective teams for this season. I've got our first girls state medalist and actually state finalist, so first state medalist and a first state finalist.
Wrestling setting.
Yeah, for the girls wrestling team, and Gabby Bennett. And then I've got our, it's in the 60s, 70s, individual state champion, but our first since 2017 at 113 pounds, Bryson Terrell, and Gabby was state runner-up at 126 pounds. So, yeah, those are my, and they've both been on before, but to conclude the season, I figured, like we thought, texting earlier, what better way to end it than with these two?
I'm telling you what there. Well, Gabby, let's talk with you a minute here. Over there last weekend, how many matches did you compete in?
4.
And how was the decision? I mean, the first that you won, did you pin them or
No, like
outpoint
all
them?
my wins, all the matches that I won were by points, actually.
All the points.
Which is really shocking because, like, my whole season I pin.
Yeah, and you had all those pins and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot different competition over there at that level too, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
How about you, Bryson? You won it all there, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Where's that gold medal at? You need to have that Olympic gold medal. USA, US. We should be standing up here chanting or something, I guess. But
Yes, sir. I won my first match by pin, and then second match by major decision, 15-2, I think. And then my third match by pin, and then won 7-0 in the finals.
wow, I mean that's domination, isn't it?
He
Coach?
dominated, yeah, he dominated, yeah.
Now, will you be staying with the same weight class, you think, or will you?
I'll probably be going up to about 120, 126 probably next year.
Okay, and you're a junior.
Yes, sir.
Gabby's a sophomore.
Yes.
Oh boy, man, you couldn't ask for more there.
We're gonna be okay.
You're
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, talk to us about what all went on since our last show and bring us up
So
to
we
date.
had the sectionals that weekend. Did we speak last week before the state tournament?
Yes.
Yeah, we were out of school Monday, Tuesday, and then we left on Wednesday. So I don't know if we spoke.
No,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
Yeah, so we had a really good. So the girls regional at Stone Memorial on a week ago Friday, and then we drove over. I went over, and I want to say I helped coach, but really I really wanted to sit in the stands. But as we know, my girls' staff is really, really good. So I went over and some more for support for these girls, and we had we sent 4 girls, and we had 4 state qualifiers, 2 state or 2 region finalists, and Gabby and Brianna, and then we had 2 other state qualifiers in Miley Goodwin and Brooklyn Stansbury. They both finished 3rd. And what did we finish? Did we finish top 4 or 5? I think we finished 4th as a team out of 30-something. Teams.
Yeah.
And then we drove over to Oakland, Murfreesboro on that evening for the boys sectional. We sent 11 state qualifiers, finished a close second to Cleveland again in the sectionals there. And then that bridged us right into, we left last Wednesday for the state tournament for boys and girls. It's both held at the same location at the Williamson County Ag and Expo. And so, Gabby was being a little, what's the word? She's been a little modest. Yeah, she's pinned her way through this entire season.
Yeah.
And then, that level of competition, and girls wrestling, like the cream kind of rises to the top there at the end. And, I don't want to say she beat a lot of good opponents throughout the year, but there's also a lot of girls that are starting to try the sport out that she had some matches with throughout the season. But when she got to the individual tournament, I was a little concerned with her conditioning. I kind of kept going back and forth with her and her dad, but it was more of an adrenaline thing. So I think she was used to pinning and going after the fall. And she had a defending state medalist her second match and wrestled really, in my opinion, might be as good, if not better, than the girl that beat her in the finals. And definitely, Morgan is good.
Oh, she's way
She's
better.
very good. And so, Gabby, I just felt like maybe even though it wasn't her first state tournament, I felt like her nerves got to her a little bit because there's a lot of anticipation. I'm used to beating people.
Yeah.
But man, she wrestled well. So and she'll be back. She'll be leading the charge. I'm going to get her some information to start on lacrosse today. She needs to take a little bit of a break, and then we're going to get her plugged into the freestyle Greco and look at getting in those international styles, and then. We've got a pretty heavy girls schedule this summer as we're kind of building this program. So,
Well, good.
Yeah.
I guess I hadn't thought about this, but you're talking about all those pins you got in the regular season. You're out of there in a couple of minutes, but now you're having to wrestle 3 3 rounds,
Yes.
you know, and the stamina and as you say, you know, I wouldn't think about that, but yeah, that's a whole different
Yeah.
feeling, I guess.
Yeah.
It drains you there.
Yeah.
How close are the matches back to back as far you wrestle one to win? How long do you have to wait to wrestle next? You got time to recover and rest a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. There's a thing called like a 45-minute rule
Yeah.
when we're wrestling. So you have to have like 45 minutes before your next match. So
Okay.
yeah, you have
Well,
time.
and they're taking a 4-round tournament and spreading it out over 3 days, which is not good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's okay, but that makes tons of rest for them. But if you train like we train, usually the longer the day goes, the better it is for us, because we you know, like in those short match type situations, like he wrestled 1 match on Friday. She wrestled 1 match on Friday in the semifinals. Like, we had them wrestle a match and warm up before the match.
Wow.
Because we usually get better as the day progresses. And we took that into consideration for our training, which is why when she started looking kind of fatigued in her first and second matches, I was looking at her dad, who helps us coach, and I'm like, now look, like you can be critical all you want about technique, but I'm worried about, like, why are we breathing heavy? Because we don't usually breathe heavy.
Yeah.
But I think some nerves got to her a little bit. But Bryson is, you know, he led the charge. We had 4 state finalists, just kind of get caught up, 6 state medalists. In my opinion, we should have had 5. We put 5 in the semis. We should have had 5 in the finals. Luke Belcher lost a heartbreaker. Just kind of got caught in you know, I'm not taking anything away from the kid because he won the tournament. He won the finals, but that kid come out guns blazing and kind of caught Luke in a scramble. But nonetheless, you know, the majority, all of our girls' team, with the exception of 1, and the majority of our point scorers from both the duals and the traditional on the guys' side, they're all coming back. So we're sitting in a pretty good spot heading into next year.
When you were here earlier show, you were unbeaten at that point. Is that
Yeah.
match you lost in the finals the only match you lost all year?
No, the girl that I lost to in the finals of state, the girl beat me 3
That was her
times.
third time
That
she
was
beat
my
her.
3rd time she
She's
beat
the only
me.
one that beat you this year, though.
Yes.
Now, is she a senior or is she?
She's a junior.
She's a junior.
She's a junior.
So you just got to get a little tougher, I
Right.
guess, or whatever.
Yeah, we have tried to solve that riddle, and she pinned her, and then we lost to her by a point. And Gabby was, she was behind by a point with about 15 seconds left, and we just couldn't close the deal on it. We closed the gap. That girl was a defending state runner-up, so she'd been there before, and she's kind of a sneaky little wrestler. Like, I really think that some of the girls she'd beaten prior to that were tougher matches for us. But it's not like Bryce will tell you, sometimes in wrestling, people just they're style matchups, and that's a riddle that we're going to solve, but we haven't solved yet. But nonetheless, man, Gabby had a great season.
Bryson, what was your overall record for the season?
I think it ended up being 35-0 or something like that.
35-0.
Undefeated state champ.
Undefeated.
Been a
Good.
minute since we had one of those.
Goodness gracious. Well, his name will go on the wall over there in the gym.
He'll get in the wall, he'll get in the trophy case, he'll get on the board. There's a lot of things. When you win a state title, it unlocks a lot of things for you.
Yeah, it sure does. Well, Coach, you got a lot of guys coming back, you say, and girls.
We do.
So you got all those you mentioned. Future looks bright for the program, both boys and girls, and your coaching staff and all that. And what do you do from now, and as far as in the offseason, what can you do, or what do you do, what do you want them to do, as far as you want certain wrestlers to bulk up so they can be looking at higher weight class and stuff like that? And
Yeah, it just kind of goes back to knowing your wrestlers and having that relationship with them. Like I mentioned earlier, like I want Gabby to take a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
You know, girls wrestling, there's a big tournament out in Iowa coming up that we might have some interest in looking at, but like mentally and emotionally, I would like for her to take a little bit of a break, but then get plugged back in and jump in, because girls wrestling on the NCAA level is extremely fast in the growth, and in the growth stage, and she could legitimately wrestle on the next level if she so chooses to. So that sophomore to junior before your senior year is this next 18 months for her, and her next step path is very important. So if we're going to push forward and we're going to push hard, she needs to take a little bit of a break. And we're looking at playing lacrosse, and then we'll kind of sprinkle in some freestyle Greco, because college wrestling for girls on that next level, it is an international style. It's the freestyle style of wrestling, which is great to have Mackenzie Byer, our girls coach, who was a national runner-up in that style.
wow.
Yeah, so, but then like for Bryson, like he's going to go full force. I mean, we had recruiters on him all weekend, and he's got a 12-month window to land himself, and he's one of the few kids that threw his hat in the ring when he was an 8th grader, 7th grader, 6th grader, kind of like I was, and he was way better than I was. But when you know you want to wrestle in college, you know, and he does, and so there's not much break for him. You know, we're going to give him a little bit of a physical break. Personally, I was back in the room Monday morning at 6 a.m. with a couple guys. You know, we've been in the room this afternoon, or every afternoon we've had the room open. You know, we don't post our stuff on social media. We're just there. Yeah. Our room never shuts down, and we never really quit working. This week is kind of more of an open week. Next week, of course, I'm coaching track now, so I'm doing the morning stuff. Coach Blackman and Coach Matthews doing the afternoon stuff. But yeah, certain kids will bulk up. You know, and certain kids will, like her brother Miguel, I would really like to see him back at 106 instead of up at 113, and I would like to see him up at 120 and 126 because the lightest weight class in college wrestling is 125. And like that's kind of what I'm marketing him as is he's a lifetime 125.
Looking at the future there.
Yes, and so the recruiters we were talking to this weekend was like, look, you're going to get at least 2 years at 125 out of him. Might get more. You know, and so he'll kind of bulk and then maintain. My biggest thing with him is I want him to go ahead and develop the wrestling lifestyle. He loves wrestling. He loves getting on the mats. But when he goes to college and he starts cross-training and training in other, like you're not going to wrestle every workout in college. So he's going to become a morning guy with me and learn that 6 a.m. workout.
Whether he wants to or not.
Well, I mean.
No, he wants to, though.
If we're going to market him as a Division I prospect, then he has to have a Division I work ethic.
Yeah.
And that's what we're after. But, you know, like, for example, like Wade Brooks wrestled 160 this year. I want him at 182 next year. So he's going to wrestle. He's going to practice and get on the mats a little more and lift a lot. But he needs some competition. But like her brother, like he needs to maintain and he needs some competition. He needs to learn to win learn to win big matches. So really we just kind of go like Knox Watson. He's not playing baseball anymore, but he's running track. And when he comes in the morning with me, I've got him and my 182 pounder. They're drilling, like they're working on technique. So we're finding him like weight room and competition. We're giving her a break, and then we're going to find her competition. And then like Wade, we're techniquing a little bit of competition, and then we're getting bigger. So I got 14 guys that we've got to place together. And in the meantime, you know, we had 8 girls this season. We want 16 next year. So like she and I and our coaches, you know, we're going to be set up in the cafeteria the week after spring break doing a girls' interest thing. And we might have 20. I don't know, but
you need her there as a recruiter. So, I got second in state. You can do it. You know.
She's the face of Bradley wrestling right now, and Brianna Pontus has done a great job for us the past couple years, and you know I'm very proud of her. She's our first 3-year wrestler, but you know, and again, Bradley wrestling doesn't stop when people quit or graduate. Like Bree is gone, and now Gabby's kind of the captain and the forerunner of this team. We've got a really good 8th grader coming up, Natalie Shane, who's going to be her primary practice partner. They'll be together a lot this offseason.
About the same weight group?
I think so.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure that out. You know, that's going to be interesting. So they'll be 20, 26, 32, and so it's going to be fun.
Wow. Boy, the future sounds very, very promising for the Bears and Variants and the wrestling program and all, and with all those returners and these guys leading the way here, I don't know what else you could ask for there, but it never, like you say, elite programs, it's a kind of a year-round thing in most cases for all the sports there. And those who are going to beat you, they're out there right now working out, training, doing something, you know.
We've got some 8th graders walking around the campus today that they might find themselves in a
a singlet.
Yeah, we do. Now I gotta give a shout out to Coach Insminger and Coach Hicks and Coach Russell. Man, our 8th grade group coming up from Lake Forest is quality, and they're going to fill in some really good spots. And we've got some girls coming up from that 8th grade class. And they're active. They're wrestling at the middle school state tournament this weekend, and we're excited. Like I'm really excited. I just finished my 19th year as a coach, my 11th year as a head coach, and year 20 is always kind of a special year for Bradley wrestling coaches. So we're hoping to see where we're at.
We'll just keep on keeping on.
That's right. So
we're going to wrap things up here for Coach Smith, for Bryson Terrell, and Gabby Rincon.
Bennett.
Rincon. Okay.
Yeah, she's going by Bennett now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gabby Bennett. Second in state, Bryson, champion.
Sir.
And congratulations both of you guys. Coach, thank you again.
Man, we'll do this again next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Until next time, we'll talk Bradley Wrestling later on down the road here. This is Gary Ownbey saying so long for now. God bless. Go Bears and Barretts. And thanks to Mr. Schroeder and his broadcast crew here in Brandon Central Studio H12. So long for now.